Hey everybody, so my name is Kevin and we're going to be doing a short tutorial on how to use the FireFly system. But first things first, we're going to unbox a brand new box of FireFly and we'll kind of tell you what we need here. What we're going to need is going to need 8D batteries that are alkaline and a screwdriver. Also, we're going to need an Android device or an iOS device. So for Android, you're going to need something that has or is running Android 7.0 or higher, and that has Bluetooth low energy technology. And for iOS, you're going to need an iPhone or an iPad that is using a lightning connector. Generally, what we have seen is that all iOS devices with a lightning connector will have Bluetooth low energy technology in it. And make sure you're running iOS version 10.1 or above. So let's get started. So what we're going to do is I'm going to move the screwdriver over and we're going to unbox slowly. So there we go. I'm going to put the box aside for now. And what we have here first is the instruction manual. Please read it. And then we're going to take the FireFly unit out of its casing here. And remember, the FireFly unit comes with 8 1-meter cables and 7 3-meter cables. All right, but we're going to put that aside for now. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to take out the screws from the back. There's going to be 6 receded screws in here. What that means is that the screws themselves will not fall out, so that if you're trying to set up like in the field or out in the dark, you don't have to worry about the screws falling out and losing them. So it's going to be a tab right here on the bottom to take it out, and here we go. So we're going to follow the instructions that are inside the actual module and make sure that we put in the batteries in the correct order, or else it won't turn on. And if it did, you got to let me know. All right. Now that all the batteries are in, we're going to have to follow the screw holes and slowly guide the screws back in again. Sometimes what you're going to have to do is you're going to have to jiggle the screws to make sure they actually fit inside the holes. There's a joke in there somewhere. And there we go. So after that, what we're going to do is we're going to turn the actual unit on. You see the red light turns on, and we're good to go. Great. Now that we've put together our FireFly module, the next step is to pair it with our FireFly application. So the first thing is first, we're going to have to turn on the Bluetooth on my iPad 3. Now out on the field, what other users will notice is that if they have a mobile device, they will not be able to find the FireFly signal anywhere unless they have the application. This system was designed to ensure that only you with the FireFly application will be able to find the signal using our actual application on board here. So the next thing we're going to do is open up the FireFly app. What you'll see is that the National Council on Fireworks Safety bulletins will be placed on your mobile device. And what we'll have to do is acknowledge each one of these warnings before proceeding. Now afterwards, we're going to go into firing device, and then we're going to have to register onto the system using either Facebook, Google, or with an email. Now I'm going to use Facebook right now just because I've signed on to the application before with Facebook. It makes the process a little bit quicker. Then afterwards, what we'll do is turn on our FireFly unit. What you see is the FireFly unit appears almost immediately, but we'll have to wait about 20 seconds for the FireFly unit itself to initialize. What you'll see is that around each cue will be a green light that will go around in sequence to ensure that the continuity test is operating properly. Afterwards, we'll select our unit and enter the module passcode, which at this time will be 6 zeros. So you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 zeros. And then we're going to connect. While we wait for the connection to happen, what I'll also explain is you can actually skip this step. So without the actual FireFly unit, you can still design shows, you can still share shows you designed, you just can't fire off fireworks during that. So the next step that we're going to do is just move on to manual fire mode. Now that we've connected the unit over with the application, the next step is to see what it can do. So what I have here actually are bulbs instead of cables. The bulbs are being used for this demonstration because you can actually see them a little easier as opposed to having a coil heat up and this kind of lighting. So what I'll do is I'll plug in 1, 2, and 3 bulbs. And we'll go into the manual fire section. So we'll see here is 3 Qs are lit up green, which means the 3 Qs are ready to fire. Now if I unplug one of the Qs, it will respond and such on the actual application. So we see here that Q2 has disappeared. We'll plug Q2 back in again. And what we suggest is that our customers select the product that they're trying to ignite. What the numbers mean on this is we'll say diamond splitter with 24.0. This means that diamond splitter has an effect time of 24 seconds. So we'll select that and we'll go for the next one and we'll say American Outlaw, which is also 25-second effect time. And then we'll go into Minotaur, which has a 28-second effect time. Why this is important is because what if you're using a product and the effect cuts off at 12 seconds? If you knew that the effect time was 24 seconds, you'd know to exact caution while walking up to the product itself. So what we'll do now is we'll ignite Diamond Splitter, American Outlaw, and Minotaur by swiping from left to right on Diamond Splitter and then pressing fire. What you'll see here is that the bulb lights up, showing that there is a continuity transfer of power between the FireFly unit itself and the cable. Move on to American Outlaw, same thing, so swipe to fire. Second bulb lights up. And then we have the third one, Minotaur, swipe to fire. So that is pretty much the gist of the manual fire section. So we'll go back now, and the next step we're going to do is the fun part. We're going to create a show. Great, now that we've done the manual fire mode, let's move on to the show designer, the crux of this system. So what we're going to do is create a show. Okay, and we're also going to plug in a couple more bulbs. All right, so we have Qs 1 to 7 lit up that we can see here. Perfect. And then we're going to import music because every show requires music. We're going into songs. And on an iOS device, it's going to bring up your iTunes, but on an Android device, it's going to bring up your downloads folder. Okay? And on an iOS device too, you want to make sure that the music in your iTunes has been purchased and downloaded actually onto your device. A lot of times what we see is people using maybe Apple Music and trying to stream that music in. That won't work because you technically don't own the music yet, but that is avoided on the Android device. So we're going to go into Symphony by Zara Larsson, which is something that I've purchased and downloaded, and then we're going to try and place some cues within the music itself. And most of the time, people like me who are non-professional pyros are going to listen to the music and want to pin cues to the music itself while listening to it. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to press play. And then wherever you want to set the cue, you're just going to press plus. So I want to set it here. On the 8th second, on the 13th second. I'm going to look for the wavelengths over here to see if I can match the correct wavelength. Great. Or what I could do, if I don't want to listen to the entire song, is press pause and tap on the actual waveform wherever I want the cues to be set off. Now I do have 7 cues, and what we can then do is go into the actual products themselves and select the products that I've purchased. So we'll say the first cue will be neon, and then the second one that I've wanted to use is maybe diamond splitter. Then we can say bling bling, and so on and so forth. We're going to end with show in a box. All right. So some other things that we might want to know about this screen here is that you can save this show, revert back to it if you'd like. We can rename the show to something that's particular to this show itself. So say it's a New Year's show or July 4th show, you can rename it that way as well. You can share this show right on this screen by pressing the button right next to it. You have a QR code that we'll explain soon. And then let's go back to the main screen. If you wanted to share that show or delete this show, you can just long hold the actual show itself. You see two buttons show up. You can either delete the show, which is on the right side, which I won't do right now, or share it right from your main screen. Okay, so go back into the show itself. Doesn't look like I saved the actual name though. Let's do that again. New Year's. Save it. There we go. Now it's called New Year's. Great. And the next step that we're going to do afterwards is we're going to submit the show from the iPad over to the FireFly unit. So we're going to press submit. And it uploads this time code over to the unit itself. Now at this point in time, all you have to do is be in range during the swipe to fire stage. Afterwards, you can actually walk away from the system. So you don't have to be close whatsoever. You just have to be within Bluetooth range for the first second of ignition, and then you walk away. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to press swipe to fire. So we're going to swipe left to right, and then we're going to fire. And we'll see the show continue on its own.
I've been hearing symphonies. Before all I heard was silence. A rhapsody for you and me. And every melody is timeless. Life was stringing me along. Then you came and you cut me.
I think this is pretty cool, so don't mind me smiling here.
Now I can't find the key without you. And now your song is on repeat. And I'm dancing on to your heartbeat. And when you're gone, I feel it.
And so, after the final cue sets off and you're out there enjoying your show, if something actually does happen during, you can actually press emergency stop. What that will do is send a kill signal over to the module itself, and it will stop the entire show. You do not have an option to restart it because the emergency stop button is really made so that you can emergency stop this entire show. But after you're done with the show and your friend, say Emily over in Kansas City, and I'm placed here in Hong Kong, wants to see the show itself, what I'm going to do is I'm going to share the show onto my Facebook. And what I'm then going to do is I'm going to write in a show for Emily in Kansas and post it onto my wall. Afterwards, it's going to show up on my wall, and then when Emily gets it, she's going to scan it in Kansas City and get the show 8,000 miles away. Now that we've created the show and placed it on Facebook, what I'll do is I'll actually share the show again so that Emily over in Kansas City can both download the show off Facebook or off YouTube. So then what I'll do is I'll share the show right here. And I can either email it to her, or as I've done before, I can Facebook over to her, right? At this point in time, iOS devices can share the show with iOS devices, and Android devices can share the show with Android devices. And what the QR code encodes is the name of the song, the name of the show you've created, all the products you've used, and where you've pinned them. If there are any questions about this entire system over here, including how to put it together, how to design shows, how to manual fire, please comment below or send me a direct email. The link is below. Or go ahead and download the application. It's free. And try it all out yourself. The download links are also below on Google Play as well as the Apple App Store. Again, my name is Kevin. Thank you for trying this out. And I hope you guys have fun this July 4th and New Year's on designing these small backyard shows. There it goes.
Plastic bag drifting through the wind, wanting to start again. Do you ever feel so paper thin, like a house of cards, one blow from caving in? Do you ever feel already buried deep, 6 feet under screens, but no one seems to hear a thing? Do you know that there's still a chance for you, 'cause there's a spark in you, you just gotta ignite. the light and let